Stephen Carter, your host for Healthy and Happy Senior Living. Thank you for joining me. Who is this show for? It is for seniors who want to enjoy a happier, healthier way of living, and it is for caregivers. Caregivers who are helping parents or other senior members of their families, or even professional caregivers. That's who this show is for. This podcast used to be called Safe Living Today. However, as I'm aging and I'm well into my senior years, I am very keen to provide information to seniors and to caregivers and to anyone interested in creating happier, healthier senior lives. We're going to look at some heart health research, but I want to begin with what I think is a very, very interesting development as it relates to gas stoves. Headline from Medical Express, headline dated December 23rd, increasingly under fire as potential health hazards, gas stoves could be banned in 2023. Increasingly under fire as potential health hazards, gas stoves could be banned in 2023. The lead paragraphs, citing studies that link gas stoves to health problems, including asthma in children, a U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission official said his agency will begin a formal review process that could lead to new regulations. And he's quoted here, "We need to be talking about regulating gas stoves, whether that's drastically improving emissions or banning gas stoves entirely," said Commissioner Richard Trumka. And he goes on, and I think we ought to keep that possibility of a ban in mind because it's a powerful tool in our tool belt, and it's a real possibility here. The commission will begin soliciting information from the public in March, Trumka said, and the regulation could happen in 2023. I'll have this article, as all articles will be. This article will be linked up in the show notes. If you have grandchildren or young people in your family, I think this story will be of interest. This from Blaze Media. Quote, "Children's weighted blankets recalled after deaths of two girls 4 and 6 years old." Children's weighted blankets recalled after deaths of two girls 4 and 6 years old. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission and Target on Thursday recalled about 200,000 Pillow Fort weighted blankets. The federal agency said in a news release that a young child can become entrapped by unzipping and entering the blanket, posing a risk of death by asphyxiation. The CPSC said two girls ages 4 and 6 reportedly became trapped inside the cover and died due to asphyxia in April at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. The story goes on. Target has received 4 reports of children becoming entrapped in these weighted blankets, including the 2 fatalities, the agency said. So the likelihood is probably small if you stretch the number of weighted blankets across the entire population. However, if you have grandchildren or young children in your family, and specifically they have this particular model of weighted blanket, you do want to remove that and take care of the actions as far as getting it recalled and getting your money back or a new product or whatever. You're going to want to do that quickly. Next up, chronic pain. In an article in Medical Express, dated December 23, chronic pain is an invisible disease whose sufferers are unfairly stigmatized, says doctoral student. Lead paragraphs. Imagine living with pain every day for months or even years, pain that is so intrusive it disrupts every day of your life. Unfortunately, this is the daily reality of millions of people living with chronic pain, and all too often they find their condition being stigmatized or even denied outright. And the article goes on to discuss essential pain and acute pain, and then goes into chronic pain, a disease with multiple impacts. When pain persists beyond the normal healing time, it is no longer considered simply a symptom, but a disease in its own right. This is called chronic pain. Chronic pain is defined as pain that persists for a minimum of 3 months. Yet, for the vast majority of people living with this disease, the pain persists for years. Further on, this article tells us, quote, although this disease is not widely recognized, it is estimated to affect about 20% of the Canadian population. Considering that our population in 2022 is estimated to be close to 39 million, this would mean that approximately 7.5 million people are living with chronic pain. For the purpose of comparison, 7.5 million Canadians is equivalent to the entire population of Quebec. It's an impressive and worrisome number. Now, this is being talked about from the point of view of the Canadian population, but magnify that many times over if you're living in the United States and certainly in other countries as well. Further on, we're told that there are health professionals who have prejudices against leaving people who complain of chronic pain. Many people living with chronic pain feel that their pain is not understood by their friends, family, employers, or even their healthcare professionals. This adds to their feelings of helplessness, sadness, and anger. In addition to dealing with the difficulties that chronic pain brings, these comments place an inestimable burden on sufferers. You might consider printing a copy of this article off if you have the capacity to do that. And next time you go in to visit your family doctor or perhaps a specialist, give him or her a copy of this article. I think it could open an opportunity or provide an opportunity to have a conversation about chronic pain and the challenges that, if this affects you, the challenges that you may experience dealing with chronic pain day in and day out. In an article in medicalnewstoday.com, headline, Heart Failure, Strengthening Social Bonds Could Improve Recovery Rates. Strengthening social bonds could improve recovery rates. Summary, in a recent study, researchers assessed the effect of social disconnectedness on heart failure prognosis. They found that people who are socially disconnected are more likely to experience a cardiovascular event or die within 2 years of heart failure. The researchers say their findings emphasize the importance of social connectedness in managing heart failure among older adults with the condition. And that closes the quote from the summary. Additional information, around 26 million people globally are affected by heart failure, and over 80% of heart failure patients are over 65 years of age. Despite advances in medicine and prevention strategies, readmission rates remain high. The article goes on to discuss how social frailty affects heart failure and points to the importance of really being connected to friends, to family, loved ones, and how important those connections are for heart health. As mentioned, this and all articles will be linked in show notes. Sticking with heart health, an article dated December 21, 2022 in Medical Express, headline, Heart Health Tip for Older Adults in 2023, Step It Up a Bit. Heart Health Tip for Older Adults in 2023, Step It Up a Bit. Lead paragraph, the evidence-based health benefits of walking continue to accumulate according to ongoing research by a University of Massachusetts Amherst physical activity epidemiologist who leads an international consortium known as the Steps for Health Collaborative. Findings from the latest study lead to Amanda Pollock, assistant professor of kinesiology in the School of Public Health and Health Sciences, show that older adults who walked between 6,000 and 9,000 steps per day had a 40 to 50% reduced risk of cardiovascular event, such as a heart attack or stroke, compared to those who walked 2,000 steps a day. As I record this podcast, we are in the middle of winter. Well, we're not in the middle, actually. We have just started it. So where can you go to walk? Well, of course, many malls have walking opportunities. There are even walking clubs in the malls. You can go there, although I know that for many parts of the country, there are no longer malls available, just kind of wide open shopping centers. However, you will likely have enough space, even in your home, even in a small space. You can walk back and forth even a few feet, turn, walk, turn, walk. The important thing is to engage in some kind of exercise that raises the cardiovascular system, increases your heart rate just a little bit, and of course, make sure you've checked this out with your cardiologist or your family physician before engaging in any cardiovascular work, exercise, etc. Talk to your doctor. If you're living in an apartment building with hallways, try walking the hallways back and forth. Let neighbors know what you're doing so they don't think you're a little bit on the odd side. You could also, of course, walk stairs, although stairs can increase your heart rate faster than perhaps might be safe for you. Again, talk to your doctor. Even walking within your own space, your home, your apartment, that is also a possibility. The magic is getting those steps in and getting those steps in every day or as many days a week as you possibly can. Walking is an absolutely wonderful exercise to keep us tuned up, to slow the aging process, and to keep our hearts in good working order. If you're not following the Healthy and Happy Senior Living podcast, this is a great time to do that. Follow where you get your podcasts. If you would like to be in touch, email me at cartermethod@gmail.com. cartermethod@gmail.com. This show will soon be on my website at stressreliefradio.com. stressreliefradio.com. You will find there right now an array of podcasts, all directed at, stress relief. Until our next visit together, your host here, Stephen Carter, for Healthy and Happy Senior Living. Thank you for joining me. I wish you and your loved ones blessings in abundance.